Hello and welcome to Note This Only Trash Here podcast, episode 37. The date today is the 5th of January 2014. So that means this is the new podcast for the new year, and that means we've got to reflect on the last year, I suppose. That should be pretty fun. It was a pretty good year, I think. Not the best.
Wait, why is this the new podcast?
Well, I'm thinking...
What's so new about it?
Nothing's going to be different. It's just going to be released in a new year. So it's all new and fresh and wow. That wow factor.
But we're looking back on old stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess the next one will be the new one. But this is still 2014. It's the future. You got to... Don't look in the past.
Okay.
Apart from this episode. Do it... Okay.
Apart from this one.
It's not the new podcast. I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. I don't know what I'm doing.
Wait a minute.
Yes, it's still going to be the same old podcast.
Fine.
Where,
for one more episode.
Yeah. That means it's going to be very negative, but there should be some positive stuff as well. I can't guarantee it. But there were some games and films that I liked, so I'll talk about those, and I'm sure you had stuff you enjoyed as well.
No, just moaning.
Oh. Maybe we should do like a highlight of the best moans, though. Like, we just look back, it's like, that was a good moan.
Oh.
I got out a lot of anger there.
Turn it into a positive.
Yeah, so it's the most negative thing, but it's like the top, number one, so it's still positive.
Yeah, no, let's just stick with what we did first. That's yeah. Yeah.
Stick to what we know.
Okay.
Okay, well, seeming how it was New Year's, I mean, I know you've already gone into it, but what did you do for your New Year's?
I went to London to see the fireworks again.
Oh!
And even though I said I probably wouldn't do that again, I did it anyway. And it was fun, but exhausting. But it was good. It was good.
See, you talked about
see
this...
as good of a view of the London Eye.
See, you talked about this in your recent Minecraft video, and it really made me laugh when you just cut back to last year's episode where you said you were never going to go back. And it made me laugh because you got the perfect noise. I don't know how you would find that noise for doing a flashback, but you found it.
Oh, the harp. It has to be a harp. Yeah.
Like, how do you even find that noise?
I googled dream harp, and there you go, it was there.
Okay, well, good to know for in the future.
Yeah, if you ever need a flashback, Google that. Perfect.
Well, I only ever did one flashback, and that was for Mega Man, but that was a lot of rage and anger, so I don't think a dream harp would have been too appropriate.
You need, like, crashing and everything like that, really, don't you?
Like, some, I don't know, heavy stuff.
Yeah. But what did you do for New Year's?
Well, I got insanely drunk. Nothing that interesting. I just went to a mate's house. I thought, hey, it's New Year's. If I'm going to celebrate New Year's, I'm going to do it right. So I went to the local spa, got a bottle of, Russian standard vodka, and just drank that for the whole evening.
With anything, or just the vodka?
Well, I saw that there was a 20p bottle of Co-op Cola there. So I thought, bargain. So I picked that up and I used that.
Wait, I'm getting mixed signals here. You said spa, but now it's Co-op. Which one is it?
Yeah, it's the spa, but I think the spa has been brought by Co-op or something.
Oh.
So they have all Co-op stuff in their stores, I think.
Man, spas are just horrible places. I hate spas.
Yeah.
It's a horrible name as well. Spa.
Spa.
Go down spa.
Well, with spas, like, I think they're horrible as well, but when I went around Europe, when I was in Vienna, there was a spa there.
Mate, well, that's weird.
I know, I thought it was just like some horrible English shop that just, like Roy's or something like that. But then I just saw one, I was like, am I just hallucinating because I'm so tired, or is that a proper spa?
I didn't think they'd be big enough to kind of be international.
You know, I prayed that they wouldn't be,
No.
but they found a way.
Right, note to self, never go to Vienna. Dumb.
Well, it's nice, but just don't go to the spa.
No, the spa has ruined it.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mighty shame. But no, so my advice, don't do what I did for New Year's. You're just going to regret it.
I mean, surely buying that cheap and crappy of cola is going to ruin the vodka.
You would think, and you would be partly right, but the cola was so cheap that it was like tasteless. So it was just this tasteless kind of nothing liquid with sugar in it. So when you mix that with the smooth Russian salad vodka, it actually kind of worked out.
Wow. You've accidentally discovered maybe a good drink.
Yeah, my laziness is just like this and this and let's do it, and it worked out quite well.
Good. Well, you say don't do it. Was it bad, or did you have a good time?
Well, I won't go into any too much details, but I'm going to reveal something about my drinking habits on the podcast today. When I drink vodka, I get angry and aggressive. So I got angry and aggressive, and I'm going to leave it at that.
See, you're the type of people that I was near last year.
I'm a hooligan.
At London Eye. You were that type of person.
I was a ruddy nutter.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really bad. I don't want to talk about it. It was a rough patch.
Hopefully that didn't spoil the entire evening, that.
No, it did, but that's okay, because I can't
Okay.
remember past 11 o'clock, so it's
Oh,
all good.
Okay then.
That's my friend's problem, not mine.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Woohoo!
Hey.
But anyway, so this is the Look Back podcast on 2013, and there has been some news, but we're not going to talk about it because it's just boring news. But before we look at the year, I wanted to talk about the new episode of Sherlock. Now, in case...
You said Sherlock again.
What?
You said it like that last time as
What's
well.
wrong with... What? Sherlock. Sherlock, there we go. It's just the... I don't... you can tell I'm new to the show. You can tell that I haven't been watching it for that long.
Okay.
Sherlock. There we go. Can I just call it Benedict? I can say that word.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so with the new episode of Benedict, in case you guys don't know, I hadn't seen the show, but then one of the emails that we got for the podcast, and you can email the podcast at onlytrashherepodcast@gmail.com, asked our opinion about the show. So I was like, I don't have one because I haven't seen it. So then I just went through the last two seasons, and I was like, that was a really good show. So now I'm kind of all in with the show. And the first episode of Series 3, I think it was okay. Like, the biggest problem I had with that episode is that they set up such a big cliffhanger with Season 2, and then they had to spend this whole episode... Excuse me? I had to spend this whole episode resolving that and going over that. Which would have been fine with any other TV show, but with Sherlock, they only have 3 episodes per season. So when a show has like 20 episodes in a season, you can spend an episode just catching up on people and resolving stuff. But with Sherlock, it kind of felt like that whole hour and a half was just to resolve Season 2. So that's a whole third of this season dedicated to that. So it kind of felt like a bit of a weak episode. Because I think the best Sherlock ones, or Sherlock episodes and stories, are the self-contained ones. Not to say that the ones that aren't self-contained are bad, but like with the Hounds of Baskerville, that was one of the best episodes because it's a self-contained story, hour and a half episode, and it's great. And this new episode was just kind of lacking that quality.
Yeah. I think I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was amazing though. Because you're right. When the show sets up such a big sort of, almost like a whodunit, but it was a how did he do it instead. I should have really seen it coming. But the only thing they could have done, I mean, I am right in thinking they didn't actually tell you how he did it.
They did.
but you don't know if that's right or not.
Well, I think that was a joke about how, because he explains it to the crazy fan, and then the crazy fan doesn't believe it. So I think that was like a joke on the way people were obsessed with the show, that they could give you an explanation, but certain obsessive fans will never believe it. But I think that is actually meant to be the official explanation. It's just more of a poke at some of the more deranged fans of the show.
Okay, well, see, the vibe I got from it was that because there's such this pressure of people thinking, how did he do it, that they didn't really want to come up with an idea to kind of... maybe you're right, maybe that is the proper way, but I just thought that, oh, okay then, so they're just kind of leaving it kind of in the open, but I might have to watch it again.
Well, they also said, or Stephen Moffat also said, that they had filmed and put together how Sherlock did it when they finished season 2. So that was all filmed then. So they already knew how he did it when they made that finale of season 2.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose we'd have to, really. But what was wrong with that episode, what was bad with that episode, like you say, is that because they had to devote so much time to finishing that storyline, there was no real plot to this one. Like, there was that thing about the Houses of Parliament blowing up, but that was nothing. It was like... And the end... I won't give away the ending, but I didn't think it was very good.
No, what they end that episode on is just such a, like, oh, really? They're gonna... Oh, there's some guy in the shadows. Oh, cool.
Oh, God, I forgot about that bit. Oh, actually, I quite like that bit.
Oh.
I just mean how they stop the bomb.
Oh, I didn't kind of mind that, but it was kind of a bit of a... I don't know, like, that subplot was just kind of weak in general, so I guess when it came to the ending, I was like, well, there we go, it just kind of ended, and that's the end of that. It was just a bit of a muddled episode, where there was two things going on, and neither of them got enough attention, or... Because it's like, with the end of season 1, they leave that on a big cliffhanger, but then with the beginning of season 2, they just wrap that up real quick, and then they tell their own story, which was a bit rushed and a bit odd, but it kind of made for a better episode, although I don't really like that one too much. But it made for a better episode. And also, the end of this new one, though, with that guy watching and the guy in the shadows, I really did not like that. And the main reason is because they already did it. They already did 2 seasons of that crazy guy, who I can't even remember his name right now.
Moriarty?
Yeah, Moriarty. That was him. He was watching in the shadows for all of season 1, and then reveals himself at the end. So they already did that. Oh, there's some guy watching Sherlock and is obsessed with him. So unless they take it to a more interesting place, or a different place than Moriarty, I'm not interested at the moment. I think it's just the same old thing, and we're going to see the same old thing again for this season.
Well, I have no idea who that is. I mean, I don't know if they're basing it on a character from the books. You think they would, because they've done that for most of the show. They've based things on books. But the only reason I liked it is because I'm sure that it reminded me of James Bond. Admittedly, it reminded me of a James Bond film I don't particularly like, which was Tomorrow Never Dies. But I'm sure that they had exactly the same shots with Elliot Carver, like in his glasses, looking at like TV screens. I'm sure.
Is that the main bad guy you're talking about?
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce.
Yeah, there was very similar shots where he had all those screens of all the
and you saw his
going on.
eyes. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's like Bond. But that's the only reason I liked it, to be honest. What were we saying? Oh yeah, the bad guy. But I don't know, I kind of felt like they were going to go... This is just from that few seconds they showed him. I hope they're going to go with a different type of villain. Like, Moriarty was like the kind of crazy but equal to Sherlock, because he pretty much is. He's a bit like the Joker and Batman. That's how I see it.
Yeah, there's a little of that going on. I mean, it would be quite cool if this new villain was like Sherlock, but more like the original Sherlock, where the reinvention is he's a bit of a psycho, weirdo, eccentric. So it'd be quite nice if they did it so this new villain was the more sophisticated, the more sophisticated man. And I don't know what that would mean for the show or if it would make sense, but it would be interesting to see if they do a dynamic where it's this new modern Sherlock versus a kind of old version of Sherlock.
That'll be good. That'll be good. I mean, the show is really, really, it's well acted, obviously, and it's really slick. All the way it's edited and all the cool camera angles and whatnot. But I said this in a stream the other day when someone asked me about it, and the vibe I get from it is, I think I said it was self-indulgent. All right, I think this show knows how popular it is, and I don't know, something about it, just the way they do things, it annoys me. I don't know what it is, though.
Do you have any examples of anything in the episode that annoyed you, or?
Well, I need to really to kind of back up this point. But,
okay.
Let me think. Oh, you have to come back to me on that. But
okay.
Maybe next podcast. But because I am going to watch it again. I don't know. That's the vibe I got, and I will back it up with sources at some point, but not now.
Probably not. But either way,
maybe not.
I see what you're saying, but I can see where you get that vibe. I don't know. I just don't when I watch it. Can't really disagree with you, but I don't agree.
Well, you can, because I haven't really said anything, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Where's the proof, Joe?
I don't have any yet.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed that they shaved off the mustache, though. I thought that was going to stick around. I'd like that. Oh, and also, did you know that the guy, or not the guy, the woman who plays Watson's wife, or fiancée, Mary, is his actual wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, there we go.
Nice bit of chemistry on set.
Yeah. No, there was some good things about that episode, though. Like, all the usual good things about the show was present in that episode, and there were some cool moments, but I think once we get to the end of Season 3, I'll probably look back more fondly on the first episode, but as the first episode to get everyone back into it, we'll have to see where the season goes.
Oh, yes. I've just thought of something that bugged me.
Oh?
I'm not sure if they were doing this as like a type of joke or something. Maybe not a joke, but I don't know how seriously they were taking it. But when Sherlock does his whole close his eyes real tight and think and put his fingers to his temples and like really thinks, like, is that really a part of like what he does? It just seems really stupid. It's like some kind of superpower.
Well, I don't think you're meant to take it that seriously, or it's... I saw it as he's a psycho, so this is his weird way of dealing with information. I don't think you're meant to look at it as a normal kind of process. It's just, this guy's a bit nutty, he has this weird kind of thing, and this is how he thinks, and it's a bit odd.
It is a bit odd, and it's just, I don't know, I didn't like it. There you go.
I didn't like it in the new episode. There was something about the way that sequence in this one was edited and put together that made it seem a bit dumber than the other ones. I like the other ones a lot more than this one, especially the shot where his head's just in the middle and twitching a little bit, and then there's like scenery moving behind him. I think whoever directed this episode kind of didn't quite know what they were doing in that one and just kind of threw something together.
But still, 2 more episodes to go, and then I didn't realise it was 2 years.
Is it
2 years since the last series?
Oh wow! Is that an actual 2 years, or is that 2011, 2013?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was 2012, and then 2014.
Oh yeah, 14, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh well, but either way, we'll keep an eye on the show, and it should be good in the end.
Well, let's hope so.
Definitely better than Doctor Who.
Yes.
Currently.
Yes. No, yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
Okay, so now let's start the look back. Now, do you want to start with games or films?
Games.
Games it is. We are a gaming podcast. That does make the most sense. Okay, so I have a list here of just like the big games, and some of them are just personal games for me, but I think first we'll go over the top 5 games, and this top 5 list is actually taken from the Fiji X's, which is quite embarrassing, but they did kind of nail what the top 5 games are, or what people would mostly gravitate to in terms of what their top games would be. So, these 5 games are Grand Theft Auto or GTA 5, The Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, and Super Mario 3D World. Now, Joe, would your game of the year be one of those?
Yes.
So I guess the question I'm asking is, what is your game of the year? Or what are your games of the year anyway?
What? I was like, oh god, how many of these am I actually going to have played in this list he's about to say? I've played 2. So that's not bad odds, I suppose. They are quite. But I suppose out of all those, I guess it would have to be The Last of Us. But then, yeah, I can't think. Like, even if it's a game I haven't played, I can't think of a game that would maybe match. Well, maybe ones that match it, but I don't know if it's better than that.
So it just wins because there's nothing else that really stood out.
Yeah, it was definitely a different sort of game this year for me and for lots of other people. That made it stand out.
Well, I have to agree. I would say The Last of Us is my game of the year. It made me buy a PS3, and it's not one of my favourite games of all time. It's just one of those games where I really enjoyed the setting, like the whole zombie kind of thing. Although it wasn't, but it was. I really enjoyed that setting, and I think the graphics were great. The story was good. I still say the story's a bit overrated. I think people look into it a bit too much, but it's still really good. And the one thing that this game has that most Naughty Dog games has are that the mechanics are just silky smooth. They're just so perfect. And I didn't expect it to be a stealth game. And then I started playing it for myself, and it is a stealth game, but it works so well. They managed to iron out all the annoyances and have this really great, tense atmosphere. And that's something that I haven't really felt in a while. So for me, there was kind of really no... There was other games I really enjoyed, but there was no real competition to The Last of Us.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think especially the other day, I was just on YouTube, and one of the videos was some IGN video, and it was like best moments from The Last of Us. I was like, oh, let's have a little watch of this, and it kind of reminded me of, when did I play it? I guess it was in the summer, and the music as well. I was like, oh man, this music's so good, and yeah, it's the game that actually made me nervous and got me into the storyline. And I mean, I think at the time I was a bit peeved with some of the mechanics, but I think that's because I wasn't used to that sort of game, because it's a bit like Uncharted, I guess, sort of, because it's by Naughty Dog.
Yeah, certain sections.
Even, as in just like, I remember like even the moving around was annoying for me in one part, but I got used to it eventually, and after that I think it was really good, and especially now looking back, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's just with this game, it's like gaming is now moving more towards films, and it's more about presentation and storyline. And it's great to see that The Last of Us has all those qualities that the gaming industry is moving along, but at the same time it has really tight, interesting gameplay, where it's not Twitch reaction or anything like that. It's tense, and you get into it, and it's really enjoyable. So for me, that's why it kind of beats out the other games, because it probably has the best gameplay as well as having one of the best story and presentations.
Yeah, the fact I wasn't bored through any of the story. Like,
nice.
They want to skip any of the cutscenes, and there's someone put together all the cutscenes, and it's at least a good few hours, isn't it? All the cutscenes put together.
Yeah.
They're like made into their own little film, and it's just if they can make the cutscenes that interesting, then yeah, they did do a good job.
Yeah, it's really a great game. It's one of those games where there's not that much to really say about it beyond it's really good and they did a really good job. It's not one of those amazingly interesting titles, but it's still great and innovative in its own way, so yep.
The question is, will you be playing, is it the prequel it's going to be?
Oh, the DLC.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
You won't.
I don't. I gave up on DLC a few years ago.
Not even for this one with a storyline?
Nope.
Okay.
It's just I buy a game, I play it, have the experience, I either shelf it or sell it, and that's it. I don't want
Do you still have the game?
No, I got rid of it.
Okay, well that explains it. Yeah, okay.
I played it in 2 days and then sold it.
Oh, I remember now, yeah.
Like a pro. So, in that list, the other 2 games out of it, The Last of Us' biggest competitors, and people would probably say is, a lot of people would say these are the games of the year, are GTA 5 and Bioshock Infinite. Now, we talked about GTA 5 a lot, but to summarise, I think we kind of had the same feeling where it wasn't bad. Rockstar did a really good job on the technical aspect of it. For me, I felt it was the best GTA game ever. I found it really bland. It's an open world where the open world isn't interesting. The story's fine and the writing's good, but it's not that interesting to me, really, at all. And then it doesn't really do anything that makes it stand out. It's just more GTA, it's just sunny and bigger now. So for me, it's just, I would never call this my game of the year, but I had an okay time playing it.
Yeah, I remember us discussing it's the best GTA game of the series. Well, actually, maybe not, but I think a lot of people would say that. But it's so good that it's kind of dull. They've done such a good job of everything that, I don't know, I think sometimes it's fine if games aren't, like, perfect. But it just seems like everything was so well done in that game, which people expected as well, which took a lot off it. People have been hyping about this game for years. So when it came out and, it was actually great, it's like, oh, good.
Well, it was better than GTA 4. I think that's all it came down to. It was like, people played San Andreas and GTA 3 and had a certain experience where it was silly and you could drive in this big open world, and then 4 made it all grey and not completely serious but had a different tone, and people were like, we don't really like this. Even though it got critically acclaimed, people were still like, yeah, this is okay. And now they go back to it and people are like, this is the best thing ever. And it's just like, is it really? Not really.
I mean, it's one of those games that I'll probably pick up and play, every now and then, just to mess around in and explore some of the city. But it wouldn't be one that I'd play non-stop, wanting to complete everything.
Well, you were a big San Andreas fan, so I would guess that if you were the same age when San Andreas came out as when 5 came out, this probably would be your GTA game that you got really into.
Maybe, but then I didn't actually do that when I played GTA San Andreas either. I think I did exactly the same. I just played it, messed around, and never did any of the missions. It wasn't until a couple of years ago I actually thought, right, complete this game, and I did. But so maybe we'll just take a few more years, and then I want to complete it. There you go.
Maybe. And it's not bad. I mean, I think the big problem with this game is that Rockstar shot themselves in the foot, because they made Red Dead Redemption, which is the same formula and same team and similar things. It just has more of a personality and a much better setting for an open world game. So when they then go back to GTA, which is just modern day LA, I think it was, it's just like, I want to be a cowboy. I don't want to be in the hood or just driving around.
Yeah. Come on, bring on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, that's what people want, and then I just don't get it. I mean, the only reason we're talking about this game again is because it's so critically acclaimed. I think it's on like 97 on Metacritic. It's one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, and it's one of the best and fastest selling games of all time. So that's why we have to talk about it and break it down and say it's okay, you can have a good time with it. And my biggest problem with this game is that it is so critically acclaimed. It shouldn't be. Why is no one with these reviews, and why are all these critics just so blown away by, oh, look how big this world is, and look how much writing, and the directing's pretty good, and it has a good presentation. For me, GTA 5 represents that the gaming press cares about presentation, and if you nail that, you're going to get critically acclaimed. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be on taste and personality and all that other stuff. So I think it's just kind of sad that this game is as big as it is and as critically acclaimed as it is.
GTA 5 is the teacher's pet of the class, and it's like so good, and it gets all its homework done on time and does all great grades and stuff, and he just annoys you in the end.
Yeah, you just can't root for it. You can't be like, yeah, teacher's pet, do it.
Yeah.
You want to root for like the Wonderful 101 that's a bit flawed but is kind of a bit wacky and zany, something like that. Not shooting. Like, it's weird that Call of Duty gets so slammed, which is fair enough. If people kind of say this is the same old thing, boring, yawn, I'll give it a 0 on Metacritic, that'll show them. But then GTA 5 comes out, and because it doesn't come out every year, apparently that means it's okay to be kind of blandish. And even though it's kind of blandish, and people like it because the last one wasn't that good, and now people look back poorly on that one. It doesn't make any sense. It just makes me think that people don't really have that much perception or keep games in their memory for that long. So when a game comes out every year, they're like, oh yeah, this is an outrage, I remember this one last year. But if you do it every 5 years, like GTA, then people love it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we are all just a generation of fickle people.
Yeah.
Damn you all.
So the Fickle Award goes to GTA 5.
And its reviewers.
What did we agree the award should be called for this podcast?
Oh, damn it.
There was the Trashies.
Oh, was it? Or yeah, it was the Trashies, wasn't it? It must be the Trashies.
Well, I think there was also the Daries, because there is in the title. Or the Nopies, actually.
There's so many possibilities.
Okay, so do we want to call the awards the Nopies or the Trashies?
It's got to be the Trashies, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll stick for the Trashies. So, Game of the Year goes to The Last of Us. That's the first Trashy.
Woo!
And the Fickle Award goes to GTA 5.
Oh, these are great awards. What's the award gonna be?
Yeah, exactly. We have to come up with it because we didn't plan this. We now have to come up with stuff.
What's the actual statue gonna be though? That's the thing.
Shoot. I guess.
Should it be the Pokemon bin?
It should be a secret switch.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's usually nope. There's only trash here, but if there's not trash, there's a switch.
Oh, that's good.
So that means there's not trash. It's good.
Nice.
Even though the Fickle Award is not a good award, so
it's still an award though, so they should be happy.
They deserve it.
It's like the Razzies, you know. People like getting the Razzies, I'm sure.
Sure, why not?
Sandra Bullock picked up hers in person. There you go.
Oh, what a nice lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just leaves one other big contender that we need to talk about, and that's BioShock Infinite. Now, before I talk about this game, have you played this one before?
No.
Damn it. Well, that's okay.
Have you?
I did.
Of course you have, yeah.
On the podcast I already explained about my saving situation, and ugh. Like, that was just awful. I won't go over it again. But I said I would save my opinion of the game until the end of the year one, so I guess I better talk about it. I think it's good. It's definitely overrated, but it's good. The mechanics of the game are fine. With the combat, it's pretty cool using all the different weapons and all the they're not plasmids in this one. They changed the name. I can't remember. I don't care, honestly. The plasmids, I'm just going to call them. That's all cool, but the combat's not great because the AI, they just didn't even try. It's this weird thing with that you see mostly in Bethesda games and a lot of PC games, but for some reason it's in this one, where the AI just runs around like a headless chicken. They just kind of come at you, and sometimes, and the areas that you fight enemies in just is never planned out or anything like that. It's just, here's a load of like platforms and stairs, here's a load of enemies, they're just going to run around like maniacs, just get to it. So I found the combat to be very shallow. The story and setting is good. but I found it very muddled and all over the place. It starts off with this cool setting of you're someone who's been summoned to the city in the sky, and then you start off by exploring this really cool utopia, and then of course everything goes wrong, and then they just kind of abandon that idea of you're in the city in the sky. They just kind of just leave it alone for some reason. And then they kind of go into this weird thing about this girl called Elizabeth, who people praise as a character, but she has no personality. She just jumps to whenever the plot wants her to. Like, there's one moment where you're about to leave her, or leave with her, and leave the evil city, and then you're like, oh no, I'm actually taking you to New York, and she wants to go to Paris, so she crashes the blimp and runs off. You then catch up with her, and it's like, we have to work together, and she's like, I hate you because you tried to kidnap me. And then, as soon as the plot dictates that she's not annoyed with you anymore, she just suddenly becomes completely okay with you. They never talk about it, they never discuss what they're going to do about it, they just reluctantly work together, and then at an arbitrary moment she just jumps. So people can praise the character, but there was nothing really there. She was just kind of, she was in captivity, so she was a bit childish, and then she wasn't, and then she was angry, and then she was this and this. She doesn't have a personality. I don't get how people can praise the character so much when she's just a generic sidekick, and she just is whatever the plot needs her to be. And that's then the story at the end goes into this weird sci-fi alternate dimension rubbish. Like, it's just drivel, where it's like, oh, there's a twist which I won't spoil, but it's just drivel. It just goes into this weird, like, oh, there's so many there's an infinite amount of dimensions, which is why it's called BioShock Infinite. And then there's some stupid stuff, and Elizabeth has powers because her finger got cut off by a portal. And then that's never explained. And then they don't really actually explain the ending, and I had to read up on it, and I was like, that's dumb and doesn't make any sense. So, with the original BioShock, they had this whole thing of, okay, this is the perfect society that these people have formed, it's gone wrong, and then it's kind of dealing with the guys behind it, ego, and then, there's stuff going on, and it's interesting. This one has that, and then all this stupid dumb sci-fi stuff. And I don't get how people say it's thought-provoking, and I can see where they're coming from, but there's just no direction in the game. There's no message. It's just this random stuff, and it seems like there's a lot of artistic people behind the game, just no real vision. So for me, it was good, just a bit of a mess.
So after all that, you're settling on good.
It's not bad. Like, you can still have fun with it. There's still cool moments. The graphics are still great. The music's still cool. There was still stuff to enjoy, but whether it's the game of the year, no. It's just, like I said, no vision. It's a mess. It's just all over the place. And then The Last of Us had a vision. The original BioShock did, and this one's just, they had some idea, so they just threw it all in a pot, and then it's just that the sci-fi stuff really bugged me. Like, at the end, it's so dumb. Like, so dumb, and just comes completely out of nowhere. And it's just,
Would you say it was shallow and pedantic?
I absolutely say it's shallow and pedantic.
Shallow and pedantic.
Yes.
Quite. Okay, it's just, she said shallow earlier. I was like, that's immediately what I was reminded of. Yes. Shallow and pedantic.
Good stuff. But, yeah, so that's why I can see why people love it and why it's as rated as it is. Again, it's good presentation, and it seems like it's trying to say something when really it's not saying anything, and it's trying to have social commentary, and it's there but then it's ignored and then it's jumped back to. It's just something like this. Just the best pieces of art and video games is where there was one director who had this idea for a game, and then he was able to make it, and then you play it and it's like, wow, this guy was a cool guy. BioShock is not that.
See that? Who's the guy that made it? Kevin someone.
Yeah, Kevin whatever.
People love that guy.
Screw him.
People love that guy.
He's a bum.
He's a bum. You heard it here first.
No, it's just messy. Like, The Last of Us had one guy behind it. I think it's called, like, Neil something. Can't quite remember.
Good old Neil.
Yeah, Neil, he knew what was going on.
He should get a trashy. Oh no, he already has one. It's fine.
So I guess the trashy for being shallow and pedantic goes to BioShock Infinite.
Yes,
It worked
that's
out.
a good award. There you go.
Oh,
No, it shouldn't just be shallow. It should be shallow and pedantic award.
shallow
You
and
have to be-
pedantic. Yes.
Okay, sorted.
Okay. Now, I don't know if we're going to give any other awards out, but let me just quickly go through the list of the games that, when I looked back on 2013, these are the ones that kind of stood out. So even if they're not, they stood out. So I already mentioned Tomb Raider and Super Mario 3D World, but there was also Pokemon X and Y, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, Rayman Legends, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Pikmin 3, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So for me, those were all games that I really enjoyed, and I don't know where I should really start with talking about that list, but are there any games that you really enjoyed that haven't been mentioned yet?
No, not new games anyway.
Okay,
So-
well, we already talked about 3D World and Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds in the last podcast, so in summary, they're really solid, well-made, tight games. I just felt they were a bit boring. Like, Super Mario 3D World is really good, but doesn't do anything interesting, and A Link Between Worlds is a sequel that needed to happen, but it's still just a sequel in a series where each sequel has really had its own personality, and this one doesn't.
Okay.
So we can talk about Pokemon. You played that.
Playing.
so how far are you into it?
I don't want to say.
Okay, Gym 1, 2.
No, I've just become a baron or something.
What?
I don't know. I went into this building and I fought some people, and they said, "Now you're a baron, or a viscount, or something."
Okay, I don't.
And then I just met Mr. Bonding again, and he scared me off.
Of course,
So I haven't played it since. Creepy man.
he's
he
still
is.
waiting for you in your 3DS.
He is. He was in some hotel room waiting for me. So I'm not playing again till. Well, actually, he did disappear, so I probably can go and play it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So have you got your third badge yet?
Third. No.
Yeah, because there's a massive gap between, I think, the second and third gym. It might be the first and second gym, actually, but it's one of those. There's a massive gap in between them. And then once you get past that gap, it's a lot quicker.
I can't even remember what the gyms are. The first one's like some photographer. Why is this game so much about photography?
I don't...
Like, I only realised there's these little signposts with a camera on. You go up to them and you start taking pictures. And you start changing the aperture and the focus and all that kind of weird stuff.
Oh, I didn't know. That sounds pretty cool.
I mean, it was pretty cool. I liked how you could. It actually worked like a proper camera did. You could change the focus and all that kind of stuff. It's just is France known for its photography?
I guess. I mean, it's a beauty.
Arty city,
It's
maybe.
City of Love.
Anyway,
Japan.
yeah. I'm liking it. I was just really slow.
So if you had to pick a number 2 after The Last of Us, is there like anything that comes to mind?
Why'd you do this to me?
Well, it's like, you named one, I'm proud of you, but there must have been a second one that you played and enjoyed.
Maybe some indie game or something, or maybe something on Steam I played. I'm thinking of consoles, but I'm not thinking of PC. I should probably think of PC
You're
as well.
just too cool for the room.
Pretty much.
Just can't handle it.
I'm not part of your console scum.
Damn
No.
it.
No, I think on PC I've mainly played older games as well. So I can't think of any unless I see an entire list of the year's games. I have terrible memory as well, so that doesn't help.
We could give a trashy to Minecraft.
No, don't worry about that. Yeah, 'cause that's probably the game I played most, is Minecraft. I don't know if to feel bad or good about that.
Well,
Probably bad.
it's a game you like, so...
It is, but I've probably been playing it for too long, to be honest.
Nah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just no other game like it. Well, there is now. No, there's loads of clones of it, but I don't know.
Okay.
I like being creative,
You're a very creative person.
building blocks and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to go over my list real quick. Tomb Raider I really liked, and I was really surprised by. It was a very polished, well-made experience. I had a lot of fun playing it. There was a lot of cool elements in there with the slightly Metroidvania stuff, and then all the traditional Tomb Raider stuff and exploration. I didn't really like the original Tomb Raider ones, or I never played the Uncharted games, so maybe that's why I was so surprised by it and enjoyed it so much, but I really liked it. Pokemon X and Y we already covered. It's really, really good. It's just, for me, I found it a bit easy. It was still good, though.
I am finding it easy. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know, it shouldn't be that easy.
And I don't even know half of like the special like weaknesses and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. And then Rayman Legends, I already talked about a lot as well. It's a really great game. It should have been like one of the best 2D platformers of all time, but it's not because the structure is weird, where you have the whole game and then you have a final boss and it's very underwhelming and just doesn't really feel like a final boss. And then you still have to play for a load of Origins levels to get the whole content of the game, and it just feels like a collection of levels, and you want a gaming experience to have a clear beginning and a clear end. You can have it be open-ended, but you still need that clear end where you kind of beat it and it's satisfying. And Rayman Legends doesn't have that, but Origins did. So I still think Legends is better than Origins, but Legends should have been a lot better, and they messed up by delaying it.
Okay.
Oh, that means it's now 2014. I probably will never bitch about the delay again.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess it seems a bit silly if I do it in 2014.
It's past you now.
It certainly is. It's not. But let's move on.
Inside, it's still burning. With a fiery passion.
Maybe I could give Rayman Legends the burning passion trashy.
Well, did it really cause you like emotional harm?
I would say so.
I think it deserves it then.
Absolutely. So the burning passion trashy goes to Rayman Legends.
Well, that's a great name. Woo! Burning Passion Trashy.
Yeah, because you think it's completely positive, and some of it is, but there's a lot of hate there.
Yeah. Burning hate.
Right, next one is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which I'm not the biggest fan of the Assassin's Creed games because I liked 1, didn't like 2, 3 was okay, so I brought 4 anyway for whatever reason, and it's the best Assassin's Creed game yet. The ship sailing was really cool, it's just a really cool open world, and the graphics were amazing, and the story was pretty good too. It's not perfect. Like, there's one too many just follow this guy for ages missions. If they just cut a few of them out, then I think it would have been a lot better, because it does get a bit tedious just following someone. But they ironed out a lot of the problems in the other games and made it a bit more streamlined. So for me, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was awesome and is the best Assassin's Creed game.
Well, I've seen more and more of Assassin's Creed 4. Like when I browse Reddit on the gaming bit, there's always screenshots and things, and the more I see it, the more, and from what you just said then, the more it sounds like kind of Red Dead Redemption but for pirates.
It's a little bit, yeah, because
that sounds awesome.
Because Red Dead Redemption had those moments and the experience of riding across the West on a horse with, it had those moments, and Assassin's Creed 4 also has that, but with a pirate ship. And you're just sailing in a big open sea, and all the waves are coming down, and then you just start attacking someone because you're a pirate, and then you just see an island coming up, and then you can just, maybe you see a whale, so you just jump on your thing, grab a harpoon, and go whaling for a bit. It really is that sort of experience, and it's really worth checking out.
Yeah, because that's what we were saying with GTA 5, is that it's got everything there, it's just in the wrong setting. If it was a different setting, it would be great.
Yeah.
Like Cowboys. So it seems like, Pirates is a good one to do as well. So maybe I should play that.
I would recommend it. It's already 22 quid on Amazon.
Ooh! What was that, Xbox 360?
Yeah, and PS3.
Oh. Okay then.
There's this
Maybe.
thing at the moment where, because all the next-gen versions are out, all the current-gen versions are crashing a lot quicker in price.
Oh. Yeah, okay then. Yeah.
Right, so the next one I put was Splinter Cell Blacklist. This game was really underrated. It was one of the best stealth games in years. It's one of the best Splinter Cell games. I think Chaos Theory is probably better, but I would say I haven't played that game in years, so Chaos Theory has probably aged quite a bit. But Blacklist was just really good. Like, it just did what Splinter Cell always needed to do with the core stealth mechanics. It wasn't perfect. Like, I played the Wii U version, which had a stupid amount of loading in between missions, and it was a little rough around the edges for a AAA game, which is why I think it didn't do amazingly well. But if you want a really good, solid stealth game, Blacklist is the way to go. Like, I played that game on the hardest difficulty and had a really good time on it. As in, I did that first try. I booted it up, was like, right, let's play on realistic. And I died so much, but I was having a really good time playing it and figuring out the levels and the enemies and the movement, and that's something I haven't had in a while, and it's why it's sad that Blacklist is so underrated, because it is one of the best stealth games ever made.
Do you think that ties into the whole, basing it a lot on presentation? You said the presentation's not quite there.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, because the faces don't look quite as amazing as, like, The Last of Us or GTA, and then because it was a brand new studio that made this game. Ubisoft made a brand new studio and said, hey, you're going to be doing the Splinter Cell games, do a new AAA Splinter Cell, and they did a really good job considering it just wasn't quite up there. And it was quite similar to Arkham Origins as well, where they made a brand new studio and it wasn't quite up there. But the difference between Arkham Origins and Splinter Cell is that Splinter Cell was doing a stealth game and was its own kind of thing and returned to the roots and was really good, and Arkham Origins was just boring. But no, Blacklist, if you haven't played it and you like stealth games, play it.
And then watch Sherlock. No, not really. Go and do that.
Oh god. So when are we doing Blacklist? That's the question.
Moving on.
The next one. The next one is Pikmin 3, which was awesome because it's such a unique gaming experience. Like, it has that classic Nintendo charm that I always enjoy, and at the same time it was a unique gaming experience where it was an RTS, but it was its own kind of thing. And it's the sequel that Pikmin has kind of deserved for years, and with the HD graphics and the gamepad, it has so much more to it. I think it did well in the reviews. It just didn't do as good as it could have done because it's not bursting with content in the same way Pikmin 2 was. Pikmin 2 really refined so much from the original, fixed all its flaws that people were just like, wow, this is amazing. Then Pikmin 3 comes along and expands upon it and adds more stuff with the graphics and the gamepad, and of course it's not the big jump that Pikmin 2 was. So I think that's why it's a bit underrated, but either way, it's a unique Nintendo game. It's one of the best that came out this year, and I loved it.
I have nothing to say on it because I've never played it.
Good. Moving on.
I've watched a bit of it though, but it seems like a weird game.
It's really
weird
cool.
Good.
It's one that once you get into, you're like, wow, this is actually really good.
Well, can't you kill all the little guys?
Yeah, they get killed. If you mess up, then they get eaten and die.
Do they turn into like little angel ones?
Yeah, they turn into little ghosts and float away.
That's cruel.
It's a bit of a cruel game. There's a lot of death surrounding it.
See, I'm sure I remember seeing someone moaning about how it depicts violence to children. I'm like, shut up.
No,
Shut up.
it's cute little boo-boo-boo. Then it's like fire. Ah! It's fine.
Do they scream? Do they actually scream?
A little bit.
Oh, that's terrible.
They go like, ee, as they're on fire.
Oh.
But
Okay, that's kind of sad, actually.
But my final game is arguably just as violent, is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I don't really play character action games that much, or don't really play that many platinum ones, but this one I picked up and it was really good. I mean, it's too short, and I wasn't very good at it, but as someone who doesn't play those sort of games, I still managed to have a really good time with it. And you know, the structure was a bit off, and if they just fixed that, it would have been better. But still, it was a really good game and worth mentioning anyway.
I forgot what game you even said.
Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, okay, yeah, Metal Gear.
Came out in February.
Yeah, zoned me out of that as well.
Alright, well that's all the games that I've got written down, so unless there's any that you've magically thought up, or...
No, I had a quick look. All the games are old ones.
Ah, good.
All the games are old ones I've played. Yeah.
Righto.
Don't worry about me. I'm just behind the times a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
So, how is that PS1 week going, if you're behind the times?
Oh, it's going to be great. I worked out what games to play now. So, not that I'm saying, because I'm a sneaky guy.
Damn it.
But, yeah. It's going to be interesting. I say interesting because not all the games I think are going to be that good, but there we go.
No,
that's what time does to games sometimes.
It's the PS1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are we on to films now?
Yeah, it's now films. So, what we're going to do is go over the highest grossing films. And I have the list, but I don't have the figures. So, I know you have the list, so you might have to help me out.
I have the figures.
Yeah, you might have to help me out there. So, number 10 is The Croods.
Oh. We have different lists.
Good!
Excellent.
Righto.
Excellent. Croods, eh?
Yes.
Okay, then let's go with Croods.
Yeah. This is just the one I got off Wikipedia.
Yeah, mine too. Mine says Thor 2.
Thor 2's 9 for me. Is The Croods in your list?
No.
No.
No, Croods suck.
So that means you have a film that I don't. That's not right.
I have Frozen.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a more recent list. I reckon Frozen probably did outgross The Croods.
Get on my level.
Yeah, number 10, Frozen.
No, Thor.
Damn it! Okay, number 10, Thor 2, The Dark World. Did you see this one?
No.
I did. It was okay at best.
Was it 630 million okay?
It certainly wasn't, no.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of funny bits. It looks kind of nice, but it's just a throwaway Marvel film. Marvel's now got to the point where they're just kind of churning them out, so this is one that, if you're keeping up with the Avengers, you don't need to go see.
See, that's the impression I get now, is that they are kind of being a bit churned out, which I hope they don't do with Star Wars, but they probably will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everyone just loves Loki anyway. That's the only reason people see those films.
Yeah, and there's some dumb stuff with Loki in this film. Like, really dumb. I won't spoil anything, but wow, that's really dumb.
How dumb is Natalie Portman?
She's pretty dumb. The weird thing about this film and the original is that there's a lot of jokes. Like, a lot of jokes. There's more jokes in this than, like, the Spider-Man films. And Spider-Man's whole character is he tells jokes. Which is kind of strange, and it gets a bit cringy at times, but there's still some funny stuff in there. Like, Chris O'Dowd is in it, and I always like to see him and his Irish charm.
Wait, the guy from IT Crowd?
Yeah, he's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that big of a kind of actor yet.
Yeah, he was in Bridesmaids.
Oh, yeah, so he was.
And he was in Dinner for Schmucks.
Oh.
It was a bad Paul Rudd film.
Was it like a rom-com?
No, it was some remake of a French film where Steve Carell played like a weirdo. And I don't want to get into that film, it wasn't very good.
Okay, alright, okay, yeah, moving on then.
Okay, so number 9 is Frozen?
Frozen,
yes.
639 million.
Nice.
Dollars.
So, I already talked about this film last week. It's classic Disney, but it's updated to the point where it feels fresh and new. So, I really liked it.
I like that you liked it.
Awesome.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, at least the next one I can talk about. Thank
Okay,
God.
number 8. Gravity?
Yes.
Oh, we're back.
663 million.
Okay, well, I didn't see this one, so what was Gravity like?
Gravity was a stunning looking film. Absolutely amazing how they did the effects. When I walked out of the cinema, I actually kind of had to think, hang on a minute, how did they do that shot? And how did they do that shot? Because it's so seamless the way they... I saw some behind the scenes stuff and the way they capture they have these weird robots that do all the movements, and it's crazy. So that's great, but story wise, I sense they were trying to go with something like Alien almost, with the strong female lead, and she needs no man, that kind of stuff, and she makes it on her own. And Sandra Bullock is just she's all right. But I don't think she can carry the film, and she does, for the most part, carry the film. That's all I have to say, really.
So, with that film, is it a case of... Because it seems like a film like that doesn't need a strong story, but is it that there's too much story in it, and it's not very good or interesting? Or is it just there's not that much story, and that can be a bit off-putting?
Well, I think the film's in real time. There's going to be an attack, something's going to blow up, and they've got to get out of the way of all these debris. So it's played in real time as they try and escape from it, which sounds like a good idea, but when you're watching it, it just kind of seems like it's not enough, because it's in real time. They have to make kind of big situations out of not necessarily big things happening in the film.
Right.
So it just seems like nothing really happens. They kind of claw a storyline together.
So it is a case of it's not a well-structured story, because the impression I get is that it's just Gravity is a visual experience, so the story is not the focus, unlike most.
Maybe. I didn't see it in IMAX, and apparently it's one to see in IMAX. I didn't see that, so... But even then, I don't think it would have... It depends on the person. I think someone would have liked it just for the sheer spectacle, but I probably needed a little bit more, and the ending didn't really make it worthwhile.
Oh.
And also, it did have a lot of hype. A lot of hype.
Yeah, but that hype came from people like seeing it and really liking it, though. Like it wasn't people just going crazy or everyone going crazy. It was more of a people seeing it and actually liking it. It seemed a bit more controlled and less over the top than most hype is.
I think maybe it was just my friends then, because they were like, "Oh man, it's like edge of your seat the whole time," and I was like, "No, I'm quite comfortable in my seat, thank you very much." Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, so number 7. Oh god, I don't know if we have different lists now, but I'm assuming this one's going to be the same. The Hobbit 2?
No,
God damn
it's
it.
Man of Steel.
Ah, yes.
$668 million.
I did think The Hobbit 2 was a bit low there, because the original grossed $1 billion, so I would think this one would be doing really well as well. So, yeah, so number 7, Man of Steel. Did you see this one?
No.
Well, I saw it, and when I saw it in the cinema, I really liked it. As Superman, there's some cool action in it. It's maybe trying a little too hard to be dark and brooding, but I didn't mind it. I don't like the campy Superman in any shape or form, so I prefer this so much more to that dumb... I don't like Superman. I think it's a dumb villain. It's just boring. So I like that it was at least trying to do something different. But when I watched it again, when it came out on DVD, one thing I noticed is that the writing is awful. Like, really, really bad. Every line is a cliche. Every single one. There's no original dialogue in there. It's all just cliche, 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 cliche. And when I was watching in the cinema, I didn't really mind, but watching it again, it was really distracting how every line was just boring. And it's kind of odd because it was the same guy that wrote The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight has some really good lines in it. Sure, there's a few cliched ones in there, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as Man of Steel. So I liked it at first, and I never want to see it again.
That's interesting, because who played Superman's dad? Not Space Dad, but real dad.
Space Dad. Kevin Costner, is that?
Yeah. Because I remember the comments from and the general sort of feeling when after seeing the trailer, and they were saying, "Oh, that bit, when the dad's speaking to him, it seems like it's a real emotional sort of, has some impact, and they finally got the sort of relationship that Superman has with his human parents." Did that not really play out in the film then?
No, not really. It wasn't
Oh.
bad. It wasn't like cringe or anything like that. But yeah, every line was a cliche, and that's the only problem I had with the film. Really, I mean, a lot of people would break it down more and say this is wrong and this is wrong, and I didn't like this. But for me, it was just the writing just was quite embarrassing, especially in the fight scenes. It was just bad.
So is this the same Superman that's going to be with Batman soon?
Yes.
So it's going to be Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
I think his name is?
Yeah. And
Oh.
it's Zack Snyder directed Man of Steel, and he's going to direct Batman vs Superman.
So are you? So would you? So it's the writing, not the directing,
Yes.
that peeved you.
Yeah. A lot of people would argue that directing was bad, and I guess I can see where you're coming from, but the action was really good, so I guess I can't complain too much.
So are you looking forward to the Batman Superman one?
I'm not a big comic book guy. I got into Batman because it was the Christopher Nolan Batmans, and he was doing his own thing, and it was really good. But a new Batman film just doesn't really excite me.
Okay then. Fair enough.
Right, let's move on to number 6. Are we now on?
We are on 6.
The Hobbit 2?
No.
No.
Hobbit's doing even better.
Okay, so Monsters University then?
Yes, 743 million.
Nice. Now, you haven't seen this one.
I wish I had.
It's a mighty shame, because I think it's like the best Pixar film in a long time. Or since Toy Story 3, I guess, actually. When I saw it in the cinema, I really liked it. It's like funny and had all the right elements in there. And then when I watched it again on DVD over Christmas, I liked it even more. This is like it felt like a classic film, like a classic family film. Maybe it's not quite as timeless as some of Pixar's biggest films, but the writing is there, the humour is there, the animation is beautiful. It's awesome. And I think it's something that people in the future will look back and look very fondly on this film. But for the meanwhile, it seems like people don't really care because it's like a prequel and it wasn't like mind-blowing like their older films, or didn't have as much personality as like Wall-E, Up and all those films. But I thought it was awesome.
I really do wish I'd seen it, actually, because my friends who have seen it, they say, the friends who go to university, they say that they did kind of get that sort of, I mean, even though it's American, I suppose.
Yeah.
They did sort of get that kind of feeling spot on with the whole student sort of stuff as well. It sounds really cool. I wish I'd... Damn it.
It's still out. It's on Blu-ray.
It's true. I can watch it. And Pixar are very clever. They're very clever because they did what they did with Toy Story, and they aged it. But they did it reverse.
Yeah, they went back,
but it's still in time with the people who watched the original Monsters Inc.
Yeah, the film met
Very
up
clever.
in the middle.
Yeah. So the people who watched the first can now relate to the sequel as well, or the
Yes.
prequel. Very clever.
But yeah, I didn't even think of that, but good job, Pixar.
Well done, Pixar.
Okay, number 5 is The Hobbit 2? Yes, I knew I was...
756 million.
Okay, so that will go up, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, if they count all the... I don't care. So we already talked about The Hobbit 2 recently. To sum up my thoughts, it was a really good film. It just felt too much like a middle film, and it was kind of distracting, and there was a lot of good stuff in there, like Smaug and some cool scenes, but it was too much like a middle film.
Yeah, we did speak about it not long ago, didn't we? I suppose. I can't remember what I said.
You said
It's
it was
good.
okay.
It was okay, not as good as the first one, which is funny because most other people seem to say it's better than the first one, but I don't see that at all.
Yeah, critically, it's the first one got like 64 or around there, and this one's more in like the high 70s. It's getting.
Yeah, whatever. I still like the first one more. And yeah, I think it was more. People say it was more focused on the Hobbit, and actually in terms of the story. But it wasn't, because it didn't have enough of the actual Hobbit.
No.
More Martin Freeman, damn it.
Yeah, it was that necromancer rubbish. I don't know how anyone can like that stuff. It's awful. It should not be in there. And they've had 2 films to build up this necromancer, and it's just I don't want to go into it, but I hate the necromancer. I think it's incredibly dumb and forced.
Apparently that's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
But you don't you see 5 seconds of him. It's like a shadowy shape.
Well, he does
How can they credit that?
He does a voice, or the voice.
Does he speak?
Yeah, in that language when he's talking to the orc guy.
Oh, he's the weird, creepy black fog.
Yeah, it's like the smoke monster from Lost.
Oh, I thought it was just the weird, shadowy guy that Gandalf sees.
No, it's the necromancer.
Wait, so are they both the same?
I think so.
Okay, right. Okay.
Alright, number 4. Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah, 788 million.
I got no comment about it because I haven't seen it, but I will say it's amazing that these films are still doing as well as they're doing.
Yeah, they're sick. Just the fact it's got number 6 on there, it's on number 4 on the list is crazy.
I think with all the car people, these films are not terrible. So with all the car people, it has exactly what they want. So if you like cars, you're just going to go see it. And apparently a lot of people like cars, so it's doing well.
Well, I suppose they are terrible, but they're terrible for people who don't like all that kind of stuff. I would probably find it really crap, but that's because I'm not into that whole racing stuff. But because they're, like you say, they're probably well made for their target audience, then they make loads of money.
Well, I think I've seen 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 or 5, one of those 2. And 3 was terrible, 2 was terrible, 1 I can't remember, but 4 or 5, whichever one it was pretty good. Wasn't that bad. For what it was, people driving around being cool, pretty good film. So I can see why they're doing so well. It's just kind of amazing that they are, or still are.
I wonder if Need for Speed with Jesse
Yeah,
going to do any good.
that'd be. I don't know what to think of that film. It might be good. I really don't know.
I can't tell with these types of films because whenever I see him, it looks cheesy, but then apparently that's good. So I don't know what to think.
Maybe. I mean,
I don't particularly care either.
Aaron Paul's a cool guy.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so number 3 is The Hunger Games Catching Fire.
830 million.
I haven't seen it, and I really don't want to. I saw the first one, and I thought it had some good ideas, just not that much explored ideas. And I was like, oh, it's a book, so that's probably why things are just brought up and dropped. And then I felt the lead character was hateable, just not...
hateable.
Her only likable quality was that she subbed herself for her sister in the Hunger Games at the beginning, and apparently that's never happened in all 74 years, which is bollocks. No way. 74 years and nobody ever subbed in for their younger sibling. But that's her only likable quality. If you took that away, which is something I think most people would do in that situation, there's a crying 8-year-old girl about to get murdered and it's your sister, you might sub in for them.
Nah.
Nah, just bye.
Well, maybe. But what? I can't even think of the rest of the character, really. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's it. She just goes around being pretty good with a bow. And then they just have this forced romance at the end, and it's just like, oh, what's... No, I really didn't like the first one, so when I heard the second one was just the first one again...
Yeah. That's what seems so weird, is that I ask people, what's the story about? And they go, she's back in the Hunger Games. I'm like, well, isn't that just the first film? So no, but it's different. It's great. Like, really? How can you have... Oh no, the only difference is it's all the previous winners against each other.
That's
so...
Oh.
It's still the same thing, though.
Yeah, it
doesn't change anything.
It's her being hunted in a field. That's the film. And I thought when they were releasing the poster of whoever for president or whatever, I was kind of interested because I was like, okay, well maybe this film's going to be different and going to go into more of the rich versus the poor stuff. Well, apparently not. So I'm not going to go see it.
More children hunting instead.
Yeah. Apparently there's a funny bit, like, because my mate went to go see it and said it was terrible, and he said that there's a funny bit where they have to fight a load of monkeys. Like
evil monkeys?
Yeah, like a load of monkeys just come out of nowhere. They have to fight them off.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Apparently it was the best part of the film by far, because it was so funny that they had to fight off monkeys.
Oh, when they had to fight off the wasps in the first one, that was what got me.
That was crazy.
I didn't like that bit.
As in, you thought it was bad, or it just made you cringe?
Well, I just don't like wasps, so...
Nobody does.
That freaked me out.
So, the wasp trashy of the year goes to Hunger Games Catching Fire.
They have a name. There's a particular type of wasp. Yeah, well done, wasps. You have an award.
Yes, a trashy.
What year did the first one come out?
2010?
10?
I might be wrong. I think it was 10.
Really?
You got a computer, you look it up. I'm busy.
That's true. We don't actually care anyway. Doesn't matter.
Well, I'm going to look it
Doesn't
up.
matter.
No, it doesn't actually matter.
No, it doesn't.
I'm going to look it
Number
up.
2? What are we on?
Number 2,
number 3?
yes.
Yeah.
Is Despicable Me 2.
919 million.
Jesus.
Why? I don't get these films.
Did you see the first one?
No, because it looked crap.
Yeah, I saw it because I had a big animation kind of thing where I was like, hey, there's a lot of animation films I just haven't seen. So I watched like Megamind, How to Train Your Dragon, and Despicable Me. And I think Despicable Me was the worst out of those 3. And it was just kind of there. It wasn't amazing. I mean, the one thing I liked about it is that Steve Carell did a voice, but he actually did a voice. He didn't just talk like a normal celebrity like most films or animation films where the celebrity will just be like, hey, it's me, you know who I am. But Jason Segel was also in that film, and he also put on a voice. But there wasn't really anything that remarkable about it. It was just a bog standard family film. And then the Minions one, funny.
Those bloody Minions.
All I was thinking was like, they're just the rabbits.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Yeah. They're everywhere.
I don't get what the love for them is. They're not. There's nothing about them. They're just yellow and dumb.
You would not believe. Okay, I work in a store where they sell icing for cakes. Okay, right? You would not believe the amount of people that come in and ask for like yellow icing to make minion cakes.
What?
It boggles my mind how far-reaching these stupid little yellow things are.
It's weird to think that a yellow creature has overtaken the Simpsons in popularity.
Yeah, that is true. They've got competition
It's
now.
Minions Homer. It's been changed.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not having that.
Oh, you don't have a choice. It's the second film of the year.
I suppose not. Not with nearly $1 billion.
Yeah.
Bloody little things.
I didn't see it. Apparently, it was like good for what it was. But the sad thing about this is that I saw Monsters University. That was awesome, and didn't do nearly as well as Despicable Me 2. I mean, I think part of that was because Despicable Me 2 came out earlier, so it was out for the whole summer, so it probably made more money that way, because kids are dumb and they'll just go see whatever. So if it's out for longer, kids will still go see it. But still, I think that's sad that Pixar put out a good film, not Cars 2, they put out a good one, and it kind of gets destroyed by Despicable Me 2.
I bet Despicable Me 2 was a hell of a lot cheaper to make as well.
Right.
Like, ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah, I think so. Like, Monsters University, they made a brand new lighting engine where they could do it in real time, and it looks amazing. But Despicable Me 2 is just reuse some assets from the first one, get some voice people in, slam it out.
You know what? I'm going to look it up, alright? I've got it up here. Alright?
The Hunger Games
Despicable
one
Me 2.
release date.
No.
Damn it.
But the budget for Despicable Me 2 was 76 million.
Okay.
And it made nearly $1 billion.
I think Monsters was 100 million, wasn't it?
And
150?
Monsters Inc. According to Wikipedia, so you've got to take this with a pinch of salt, but 200 million.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows when you watch the films, like, Monsters look so much better, but still, wow.
Oh. Well, you know, I assume there's going to be many sequels.
Yeah. It'll be like Madagascar. They'll just keep putting them out.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Okay, then. Then they'll die horribly.
Yeah.
Alright, good.
Good. So, it's a family film. There's always going to be... They always do well, but not 900 million well.
No. Not when they're just... Like, the only... What is the storyline to those films? I don't get it.
It's his an evil villain, but he's got to do good stuff.
And the minions are his minions.
Yeah. It's
But
a
they're
clever
like
name.
funny little characters. Alright, okay. Okay. It has... Right, this is a really weird tangent, but it has the girl from School of Rock in it.
School of Rock.
I thought I recognised that face on Wikipedia.
I haven't seen School of Rock.
Oh, okay, don't worry.
I know it's the Jack Black film from like 2003, but I never
You
saw
haven't
it.
seen that film? Huh.
No, I thought it...
You should see it. It's a good film.
I guess I just... Jack Black plays the guitar at school and inspires, yeah.
It does sound like that, to be fair. Yeah. But I don't know. I just like the music, I guess.
Well, let's move on to number one, which
Ooh.
is
Ooh.
Iron Man 3.
No, you're right.
Damn it.
No, you are good. Yeah.
Did you see this one?
Can I just say how much it made? It made 1,200,000,000.
Yeah, it's very interesting. This year, it was the only film to gross $1 billion, which means that films aren't doing as well. Or last year, films did a lot better, I should say.
How much did Skyfall make? See, this
billion?
was making me question. It did. Good,
I looked
good.
it up. It made $1 billion, and then there was an 8 and a 0 in there. I think it's $1,080,000,000. And no, it's $1,100,000,000, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises made $1,080,000,000. So Skyfall beat out Batman.
Yes. Good. Okay.
I mean,
back on topic.
we know the reason why that happened. It's because all those people got shot while watching Batman. But
Oh God.
it's still a victory in James Bond's book.
Do you think that really put people off seeing it? I suppose it would.
Absolutely, yeah, it happened.
Don't even really think of it like that, but yeah.
At the time, the opening weekend just did not do that well because people were just concerned, and America's the biggest market, so, and it's America.
Christopher Nolan has some bad luck, doesn't
He
he?
certainly does.
I know. And then when Heath Ledger died, that that sounds really bad, but that actually may have helped him. But I don't know.
Oh, Joe.
Possibly, I don't know, because it would have attracted people to the film.
Oh.
I mean, obviously not good, but he does have bad luck with like things happening in his films, especially Batman films.
What about... No. I was going to give another trashy to Chris Nolan, but that was last year, so it doesn't make any sense. Or
Okay.
2012.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, also, 2012 it was The Hobbit made $1 billion, Skyfall made $1 billion, and Dark Knight Rises made $1 billion. And The Avengers made $1 billion as well.
Yeah, I reckon it's like it goes in maybe peaks and troughs during where the films are being made. Next year, there's going to be loads. I reckon.
I think the year after that.
As in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. Next year, yeah.
Oh damn it! You got me. Yeah, with the Avengers 2 and
Avengers,
Star Wars,
and James Bond. I think will be out in 2015.
Yeah.
hopefully.
So that'll be enough.
That'll be the year.
And Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But either way, so Iron Man 3. I didn't see it because after the Avengers, I was completely put off Iron Man. I'm done with Iron Man. I'm done with Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man 2 sucked. The Avengers sucked. I'm done. So I didn't see Iron Man 3.
I didn't see it, but not because I didn't.
No,
I think
it is.
I enjoyed the other
No,
ones.
you hate.
But I'm not invested that much in comic books and stuff. So
That's it.
I don't
I used to
care.
be like like I said, with the Batman ones, I was kind of, they made me invested. And the Amazing Spider-Man, the reboot, made me invested in Spider-Man and those films. The Avengers and all these Marvel films that are coming out around the Avengers have just made me just lose interest. It's hard to care when two of them are being put out a year and they're not really that interesting. Like Captain America's coming next year, and that looks really quite bad and quite boring. And I think a lot of people got to be in this boat, but apparently not. Iron Man 3 grossed $1 billion, so I don't know how long it's going to take before people do lose interest in these films, because they got to die at some point.
The only thing that I can say is that, I mean, it's clear that Robert Downey Jr. is good at playing Tony Stark.
Sure.
Because that's the only thing I get, is that, whenever I see the source material, people saying about how Tony Stark acts in comic books, and and you see Robert Downey Jr. just in interviews and stuff, and he's very good at playing that type of character. I'll say that, like this kind of smug rich guy, maybe because he is. That's the only thing I kind of see it has going for it, is that. But then, do they? I think they do. Mind you, I suppose we don't know because we haven't seen it. But do they tackle Tony Stark and like alcoholism and like his downfall? Because that seems like an interesting sort of aspect.
Maybe it's in 3. I don't think
Maybe?
so. But
that'd
be quite good, because I'm just sick of. I'm just sick of it. I don't find it charming anymore. There's only so much of Robert Downey Jr. going on screen, but like, hey, there's only so much of that act I can kind of put up with, and it's now got to the point where there's been 4 films of him doing it, and Iron Man 1 was a nice surprise, and is why a lot of people like me got into Marvel again. But hey, let's see what they're doing here. And then 2 was just boring, and then people seem to like the Avengers for some reason, and now it's just like, how long are we going to put up with this? It's the same thing. It's him walking around being kind of... It's the same thing. I'm bored of it.
But he has a new suit.
Oh, God.
It goes in his bones or something. I don't know. Weird.
There's a reason why, like, nobody knows the Iron Man, like, fictional universe. I can't imagine it's good. Everyone knows about Batman and the Joker and everything. Everyone knows about Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Everyone knows about Superman and Lex Luthor. Nobody knows about Iron Man, and that's got to say something. I don't think it's that interesting.
Apart from the nerds. You mustn't forget the nerds.
Well, screw them. I mean, if this isn't a nerdy film for them, though, like, if it was, then fair enough. But this is a big blockbuster, and... Oof.
I suppose they'd like seeing the Iron Man Mark III armor on the big screen, or whatever it is that they're up to. Probably Mark whatever.
I don't.
Oh, it has... No, wait, Extremis. There you go, I just looked it up. It's the Extremis armor.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now I must see the film.
Yes.
It's the only way.
Good. Go see it just for that Extremis CGI.
Yeah. Well... Is there any other films you want to bring up that did not make the list and stood out to you?
Okay. Some of the films I saw this year. Did Great Gatsby come out this year?
Yes.
Or last year. The Great Gatsby was... I was really looking forward to The Great Gatsby, actually. Because I remember reading about it a couple of years ago when they were saying DiCaprio was playing Gatsby, and everyone was saying, oh no, it's got Tobey Maguire, he's going to ruin it.
Oh,
why do people not like Tobey Maguire?
Because he's awful.
Is he?
Did you see the Spider-Man films?
I didn't see the third one.
He's terrible. He's not good.
I don't know. He hasn't seemed shockingly bad
Go
to me.
back
maybe...
and watch them. You'll be like, oh my god, this guy just is a... No. This guy's not good.
Well, he was alright in The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
And it was good. I don't know if have you read The Great Gatsby? And...
we covered it back in my A-levels for history, but we didn't properly read it.
That's interesting. But I was a bit put off because in this film it was all modern music and stuff. I was like, and all this kind of rap and work. Because I was like, is this really going to work? But they pulled it off. So hats off to them. They pulled off doing this modern sort of music in the 1920s because it kind of... Alright, this is going to get a bit too into it now, but it's all jazz, okay, basically. In The Great Gatsby, it's jazz in the book. And at the time, in the 1920s, jazz was the new thing. It was the modern thing. So when they were modernising the film to target our audience, they modernised the music, so it makes sense.
Dubstep?
So that not dubstep, but just like whatever the hell music they used.
Blurred Lines.
I think the soundtrack was done by Kanye West.
Oh.
So, or maybe something like that. So what they were doing is they were taking the feeling of the 1920s and jazz, and turning it into the feeling of now, like the modern music that we hear today.
Oh.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It doesn't sound good, but it makes sense.
It just kind of worked. I think if it had jazz and stuff, it would have been boring.
Oh, okay.
So they put in modern music, and it made it more interesting. Apart from that, I don't think I've seen any... Have I seen the other films?
Well,
don't think I have.
There's 3 I want to talk about that didn't make the list.
Okay.
The first...
Oh, The World's End. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and that. The World's End. I didn't write that down, actually. The World's End was good. The ending kind of soured the film for me, but it was funny and good. It's not... For me, it wasn't the classic that Shaun of the Dead was, or the classic that Hot Fuzz was, but it's still a good film. It's still funny, so I liked it.
Agree. Yes.
So the other films were Star Trek Into Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
No.
Well, it's a really good film, and then the last 20 minutes ruins it all. And it's embarrassing how bad that ending is. Because they have the whole Star Trek film where it's... I know Star Trek is kind of a clever sort of thing, so I guess it was a clever film. I don't think it was, actually, but there was a lot of stuff going on. It was a really good action blockbuster. It looked amazing, and they were setting up a lot of cool stuff. Benedict Cumberbatch was in it as Khan, and was amazing as Khan, and they set up the villain to be extremely menacing and awesome. And then the last 20 minutes, it just has the most generic, standard, whatever ending, where they take lines from Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan, the original, and just use that scene again, like the exact same lines. I even recognise the lines, and I've never seen that film. It's just been quoted so much.
Does he shout Khan?
Yes.
Khan.
It's
that one.
stupid.
Oh wow.
It's like I was into the film, and then it was just got to the point where it was just referencing the other one so much that it was so distracting. And then also they just go into this really bog standard blockbuster ending where the villain loses everything, so he's now out. He doesn't care anymore, so he crashes this massive ship into this big human city, and it's really cool. And then he just runs away, and then Spock chases after him and just beats him up, and that's the film.
Spock beats him up?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds a bit weird.
It's dumb. They set him up as like a really intelligent guy, or the villain, really intelligent and really strong, and then Spock just has a little fist fight on top of a moving car, and that was it.
Yeah, especially Spock. Why Spock?
I don't know. It's really bad, and it's the biggest kick in the face because the rest of the film's really good, and then the ending just sours it completely and just invalidates everything that they set up and did. So a big thumbs down for Star Trek. I thought it was terrible, and I really liked the first one, but this one just sucked.
I didn't actually like the first one that much, so okay. Yeah.
And I'm not a Trekkie, by the way. I've only seen the first film, or the first reboot, and this one. That's all the Star Trek I've seen, and I just didn't like it.
What were the other films?
The other one is Pacific Rim, which I didn't see in the cinema, but I saw it when it came out, and I got a little drunk and watched it, and that's a really cool film, just like visually, and just... It has that, like, jump up in the air and be like, yeah, do it! Like, it's the ultimate version of that. Like, getting into a film, like, in a childish, beat up the bad guy's way. And it's the ultimate one. And it's definitely worth watching, because it's not going to win any Oscars, but the fact that it captured that moment so well means that I really liked it.
Did you jump up in the air and go, yeah?
A little bit.
Okay, good.
I was drinking some rum at the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Should we just playing Assassin's Creed 4? Getting in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Getting in, yeah, okay.
Right, and then the last one is World War Z, which, as I've mentioned a few times, I really like the whole zombie thing, and I really like the scenarios that was presented in this film. The story wasn't quite as concrete as it could have been, but it was more, here are a load of zombie scenarios, and here's how they play out. And I really liked that. And I think it was really smart in the way that the zombies were handled. There's a lot of stuff that annoys me when it comes to zombie stuff in mainstream media. That it's like, why would that happen? That seems dumb. But in this one, they seem to not have any of those problems. And I wasn't that excited for the film because it's directed by Mark Foster, who notoriously directed.
Oh, wait. I recognise that name. Is it Quantum of Solace?
Yep.
Oh.
Mr. I have no idea how action is supposed to be handled. Just keep cutting and hopefully it be exciting. So I was a bit worried about that, but he seemed to do a good job with this one and the whole zombie thing, because a lot of it was like the setup, you know. So he did a good job there, and the visuals that they did with the zombies, like when they dive into those big piles the way they do, and how manic and crazy they are. So I liked it for. It's probably one of the best zombie films in terms of looking at zombies and the way it would play out. And for me, that was enough. So I really liked it.
Two things. Two things. First one, have you read the book?
I have the book. I read some of it. I read a few chapters into it, but no, I didn't finish it.
Because I know that people were looking forward to it because isn't the book told from lots of different viewpoints? And
yeah, it's someone investigating the zombie outbreak after it's happened.
Does it kind of follow the book in any way? I don't think it does. Does it?
It does in certain scenarios.
Oh, it does.
Because it's a person from the UN investigating, and then they ask he asks people to account their stories. So I think some of those stories are kind of portrayed in the film, just of course twisted because it's a film, so it's can't be presented in that same way.
And the second question I have is, all I heard from that recently is there was a really awful bit of product placement with Pepsi.
Oh.
Was there? That's the only thing I want to know about.
I guess I couldn't really think.
Does Brad Pitt really obviously drink a Pepsi and like refreshing or something?
No, but
oh, okay.
I guess it was in there. I can't really think of it though. I have been drinking a lot of Pepsi recently though.
Oh.
So that might be it.
Yeah, maybe.
But I really liked it though. I have the poster of all the zombies crawling up and getting the helicopter, because it's like a black silhouette of it happening on white, and it looks really awesome. So I don't know. I guess that might be my film of the year, but that's just because I really like zombies. I can't really think of anything else that I liked more though.
My film of the year will go to The Hobbit 1. That counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
it came out 2012.
I watched it this year.
God damn it.
No, alright, maybe... I haven't even seen that many films, though. Maybe The World's End, then.
Wait, World's End.
It made me laugh, so that's enough.
What about The Wolverine?
Oh, God, no.
No. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, no. No.
Absolutely not.
What about... Where has it gone?
Oh, God.
Oh, I scrolled past you. One Direction. This is
Well,
us.
that obviously is first. I mean, that's not even fair to take into consideration.
Okay, good. It's actually supposed to be quite good.
No, it's not.
It is.
Shut up.
Because it's not just your typical behind the tour sort of thing. Apparently.
Who cares, though? It's just 5 guys who sings. They're not interesting.
And Morgan Spurlock.
Who?
You know, Super Size Me guy.
Oh, why is he in it?
He directs it.
What? That sounds so dumb.
It is quite random. Yeah.
You haven't sold it to me. I don't think I will be seeing it.
Alright, fine.
Oh, well, I guess that's the end of the podcast, I suppose.
At the end of the trashy awards ceremony.
Yes, so what was it? The Fickle Award went to GTA 5.
Yeah.
The Game of the Year went to The Last of Us. The Shallow and Pedantic Award went to Bioshock Infinite. The Burning Passion award went to Rayman Legends.
Mm-hmm.
And well, was there any?
They may have gone for a game that came out another year, so that one doesn't count.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Was there one for any of the films though?
No, we didn't do the film awards.
Damn it.
We'll leave that to the Razzies. They have their own one.
Yeah, we can do it next year maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But oh well, so that has been 2013. A pretty damn good year for games and an average one for films.
Yeah, I don't know. 2013 went by very quickly. It was an okay year. No, it was a good year. It was a good year. It was great.
There we go.
Actually. It was a great year.
We can't leave on a negative note. Not again.
In terms of podcast, you know?
Oh yeah, started in March, I want to say.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's a plus.
Hey.
Hey.
The best new podcast trashy goes to us.
Yes.
Because I can invent the awards.
Is there a cash prize?
Do you have any money? Can you just send me some money?
Okay, I'll get on that.
Nice. That's in the bag.
Great. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me, Mr. McLuckable.
Do I get an award?
You can have the Debbie Downer Award.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy
There
with
we
that.
go.
Great. Thank you.
Or the Pioneer Award.
Oh, the Pioneer Debbie
Yeah,
Downer.
the Pioneer Debbie Downer Award goes to Mr. McLuckable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that will go on the mantelpiece.
Oh,
for sure.
definitely. I'll get that sent to you.
Thank you.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you for joining me for this, not a year of podcasts, but this year where there were podcasts.
Be it in review.
And do you want to promote the stuff that's coming up on your channel?
Yes, okay. Oh god, you made me think about it now. Sometime next week. Sometime soon. I'm having a PS1 special where I'm going to play some old PS1 games to have a belated celebration of some milestones on my channel.
And isn't
There we
there
go.
also another special on the 10th?
Oh, yeah, that'll be that. Oh god, yeah, that'll be the 3-year anniversary. Yeah, yeah, 3 years. So that'll be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also, I just started doing Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the 360, so it's a pretty good game. And if you like the Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, then I'd recommend checking it out, because it was the last one Treyarch made.
Go watch it.
And also GoldenEye is now back up and running, because I beat Mega Man 2.
Yes.
Alright, well, I've been on Some 23, and see you next week.
Bye bye.